Hello, and welcome back to Curlington Stories. If you're new here, welcome to you too. Today we're going to be talking about two stories that both involve extreme diets on the opposite sides of the spectrum. So one on the carnivore side and the other on the vegan side. We'll be starting with the carnivore story. In this case, the original poster was staying with his older brother and his girlfriend, his new girlfriend, who introduced the carnivore lifestyle. And as people on extreme diets love to do, they love to push this pseudoscience horseshit on you, no matter who you are, but especially if you're family, which is precisely what has happened to this person. Now, I'm just gonna say that as a little bit of a spoiler, I don't agree with the verdict. Maybe you will, maybe you won't either, but we'll see. That being said, that's also going to apply to the second story too, which involves a vegan 12-year-old who stays over at a friend's house, but the parents there often feed this kid non-vegan food, and the vegan kid loves it, but they don't tell their parents about it because they know exactly how their parents would likely react. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my brother and girlfriend's carnivore lifestyle being forced on me? My 18M half-brother Jay, 29M, moved out of state down to suburban Texas because of the mandates. Jay is unpredictable, and I've always suspected he inherited bipolar from my dad. But he's my brother. We've always been close. I haven't seen him since he left for Texas late last summer until this week. I made the trip myself to visit him. Jay was super excited. He told me a few weeks ago that his new girlfriend Lana would be coming to the dinner. 3 days ago, I fly out and Jay picks me up and tells me Lana will make dinner. She is one of those super blonde, super fit, fitness blogger type. I don't judge and we briefly talk. I will note here, high cholesterol runs in my family and I struggle with nutrient deficiencies. Lana presents us dinner, very post-flight hungry. And it's a burger for me, but I'm not fucking kidding you, a hunk of butter on the side. For her and Jay, it's what looks like liver and barely cooked steak with the same hunk of butter and some other substance. I basically think that this is a prank. She tells me since I probably haven't tried the carnivore lifestyle before, she prepared me something lighter called a butter burger. Then she explains to me her and Jay are eating veal liver and flank steak. She goes on to explain the benefits. More energy, this is how humans used to eat, etc. She learned about it on carnivore Instagram. You know, I've been doing good about not chiming in too soon on these. Usually try to get through the whole story before I say anything, but this one just made me roll my eyes. This person really was like, yup, carnivore Instagram told me this is the healthiest way to live, guys. Yup, yeah. I mean, when else has following influencer advice on the internet, pseudoscience bullshit, not led to wonderful things, right? And it's been making her feel so much better. I'm stunned. She then goes on to tell about how veggies are full of toxins and will rot in your gut. Jay peppers in some talking points too. I'm super uncomfortable that they're pushing this agenda onto me and want to blurt out that this is insane. But I haven't seen Jay in ages, so I suck it up. Next day I wake up for breakfast. Jay presents me super rare, practically raw steak and grass-fed organic eggs. I about fucking lose it and tell them it's making me super uncomfortable. They're both forcing this on me. It's not healthy and you'll both probably die at 40. Real shit is what came out of my mouth. Jay blew up at me and told me I was disrespecting his girlfriend and his diet and that I couldn't respect what was good for him. Lana goes on her talking points again. I spent the last of the trip in my room eating the plain snacks still in my bag. I called my mom in tears and changed my flight to a sooner one. I Ubered to the airport the next day after the insanity. Love my brother and he won't talk to me and I wonder if I should have just shut up and eaten the disgusting food. Oh brother, where do I even begin with this one? First off, if you guys watch my Omni King channel, then you know how I feel about extreme diets and people pushing extreme diets on others. To summarize, I believe that's not something you should ever do. If you want to be on an extreme diet, good for you. You know, go ahead. You know, if there's consequences involved, you know, that is on you. But roping somebody else into this with delusional brainwashing from pseudoscience TikTok gurus that know it all and are nutritionists by trade in their own delusional minds is crazy work. Now, I'm not about to go and explain why the carnivore diet isn't fit for most people, generally speaking, depending on how you do it, particularly the red meat style. We're not going to talk about about that in detail. If you want to know more about that, I got plenty of videos on the Omni King channel. But we're here to talk about the verdict. Is this guy an asshole? A little bit, yeah. It seems like nobody here understands communication at all. So I'm gonna talk about the original poster first, and then I'm going to talk about the brother and girlfriend. So original poster, an asshole in regards. Obviously snapping at his brother by saying that they're going to die at 40 is crazy work. Now, even if you believe that, that's still not really an okay thing to just blurt out. I mean, obviously this brother here does have concern for their health, and genuinely so. That's a good reason too. A lot of the things that they're doing on this carnivore diet could very well be dangerous long term, especially if they have a history of high cholesterol and heart disease. This is not the diet for you if you have those conditions. So yeah, dying at 40 from heart disease could very well be a genuine risk. This guy could absolutely be ending himself with this diet. And sometimes you need a fat dose of reality to change your mind. But some people don't listen. They get so absorbed in these things and won't listen until the doctor says, hey, if you keep doing this, you're gonna die. Or until they have, a heart attack or something along those lines. So unfortunately, there really is nothing that the original poster could say or do to change anything. So blurting out like this was completely useless, and it was also a little immature. I mean, if you wanted to try to correct this and try to help them, this isn't the way to do it, obviously. I mean, that's just gonna go in one ear and out the other. They're already not listening. So he's an asshole in that regard. Not an asshole for feeling this way, and not an asshole for refusing to eat the food and refusing to get roped into this bullshit. Absolutely not. Overall, I don't think they're an asshole. I think they messed up by saying what they said, but overall I don't think they're an asshole. They were really frustrated with them berating them, with trying to push this diet on them that they didn't want, and trying to use all this pseudoscience garbage to try to brainwash them into believing that it was the healthiest thing for them when it's not. They were trying, not directly, but they were effectively trying to kill him. Somebody who has a history of high cholesterol and heart disease absolutely should not be consuming a diet like that. That puts your risks so much higher. It's extremely dangerous. So I would be frustrated and angry too if they kept pushing this on me. It's like, no, I'm good. I want to live a long life. And their arguments about vegetables and stuff being toxic is just crazy too. Some more pseudoscience garbage, which I won't get into. Now, regarding them specifically, I already talked about them a little bit, but yeah, they're assholes too. It is so unbelievably childish to try to force a diet on someone, especially your own family. Like, what the hell is that? That is so disrespectful, especially a diet that you know nothing about, because there's no science backing this diet at all. It's just a couple of TikTok and Instagram influencers that say, oh yeah, it's the healthiest thing. I've been on this diet for 6 days and I feel amazing. It's like, the problem with these types of diets, especially the carnivore diet, are the long-term issues, the long-term health complications. You're not going to see those within just a few months or even just a few years for most people. It's the long-term complications that are to be at the forefront of your concern. And there's no Instagram influencers out there that have been carnivore for 40 years or anything like that. And even if they were, and they were healthy, it's all anecdotal. You could smoke a pack of cigarettes a day for 40 years and never get lung cancer. That doesn't mean smoking cigarettes can't give someone else lung cancer. So that's a really dumb thing, even if they were to go down that route. And personally, as host, I think you should always try to cater to your guests and give them what they want, or you're just a terrible host. Expecting someone to just eat whatever it is that you eat, I feel like is pretty rude. I mean, to each their own, everybody feels a different way about that, but when I have somebody over for a week or a few days or whatever, I'm always going to make sure that they have the food that they want because they're my guests. It's not like, oh, you're just gonna eat whatever I eat. What if they don't like what I eat? That's like, it's just shitty. Like, it's selfish, and a lot of people are selfish because a lot of people in the comments have been saying, oh, well, you should just eat what they offer. You're bratty, like, sort of thing. Like, it's pretty stupid in my opinion. Okay, I'll just show you like one example of that. Like, this person, you're the asshole, weird, sure. Your reaction was uncalled for, true. You're a guest and you're being disrespectful, also true. You don't like dinner and breakfast, you're old enough to go find an alternative. That's fucking crazy. Don't host people if that's your logic. But most people are saying this guy is the a-hole for the reasons that I already pointed out. So there's really not a whole lot else to look at in the comments, because that was the verdict. So let's move on to the next story. As I mentioned already, this vegan 12-year-old staying over at a non-vegan household and being fed non-vegan food. Original poster wants to know, are they the asshole? Am I the asshole for giving my daughter's vegan friend meaty meals during sleepovers? My daughter and her friend M are both 12 years old and like to have sleepovers every now and then. M's family maintains a strict vegan diet where she isn't even allowed to drink milk. Her parents are nice people, although a bit on the neurotic side. M is a bright young girl and she's a good friend to my daughter, but I notice how much smaller and paler she is compared to my daughter. I think it's likely tied to her family's diet. So whenever she is over, I always make a big, meaty meal for them. Last weekend, I made some cheeseburgers and steak for them on the grill with a big glass of milk. M absolutely loves it and always politely asks for more, which I happily provide. For snacks, I give them some of my venison jerky. For breakfast, I typically make a big plate of scrambled eggs and bacon again with a big glass of milk. Despite her size, M always wolfs down whatever I make. And I have to say, every time she leaves, it looks like she has a healthy glow to her. I know I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I think M is a bit malnourished. Nothing against vegans or anything. She knows she'll get in big trouble, she tells her folks. I think she fibs a bit to her parents about what she eats. Am I the asshole for letting my daughter's vegan friend eat meat? Nope, no, absolutely not. And I stand by that. I know some of you probably a little bit upset right now and I don't care because I'm going to explain my position here if you're open-minded enough and you want to hear it. Now there's a couple of big things I want to talk about, so let me figure out where I want to start. Firstly, I guess where I'll begin is veganism is a lifestyle choice, right? That you choose. Your child, unfortunately, in your household doesn't get to choose. And I'm a firm believer that your children should be able to choose their lifestyle choices, period. I think it's shitty to force any type of lifestyle on your kids. Introducing them to it, fine. Telling them about it, fine. Suggesting it, fine. Encouraging it, fine. Like even religion, right? If you're a Christian household and your kid's like, I don't really want to go to church. I don't really want to read the Bible. I don't really want to get roped into this whole Christianity religion thing. That should be fine. That should be their choice. At the end of the day, even though they're a child, they're still their own individual with their own wants and needs. Forcing any sort of lifestyle choice on a child, I feel, is irresponsible and selfish. Now, within the house, having certain expectations or obviously you provide the diet, you provide the food for them. No, I don't necessarily think you have to cater to them if they don't want to eat vegan food. I'm not necessarily saying you have to provide non-vegan options, even though I would prefer that because there is no research, no science backing the insurance of health for vegan children. No, there really isn't. You can go look all day and you will not find anything that confirms this. And the amount of risks and health complications that come along with children being vegan is incredible. And overall, it's just extremely dangerous. And personally, I don't think it's worth risking your child's health and well-being, their growth and development for an ideology. So personally, I would rather the families provide non-vegan options for all of their children. I don't think children should be raised vegan, period. I've read and seen way too many stories about malnourished children on vegan diets. It is a very real, very common thing. Something that a lot of you people watching this right now probably don't know, that some studies suggest that as much as 92% vegans are B12 deficient, though some studies suggest that it could be lower, around 52%. When compared to traditional omnivores, that's only about 1 to 3%. And B12 is crucial for growth and development, especially for your brain, and especially when you're a growing child. And if the vast majority of vegans themselves are B12 deficient, why would we have any reason to suspect that their children aren't as well? And a B12 deficiency as a child is infinitely worse than a B12 deficiency as an adult. And that's why you end up with children, I'm not even making this up, on vegan diets that are nutrient deficient that can't speak by the time that they're 5 years old. Have so many different cognitive issues, or there's many that have even died from starvation because of this. Like the list goes on and on and on. But I don't want to harp on that too much. That's more for the Omni King channel. But I need all this to support my verdict of this person not being the asshole. Because the truth is, they are doing that kid so much hidden good and they don't even know it. Plus, again, that child is their own person. They shouldn't have to be forced into upholding your ideology. That is your ideology. That kid gets to choose what they believe, what they want to support, and what they want to dictate their lives. As a parent, you don't get to choose that. You can encourage it, you can inspire it, you can teach it all you want, but you don't get to force it. Again, that is extremely irresponsible and selfish. And also, just because the family is vegan, again, doesn't mean she has to be. And she should be able to eat whatever the hell she wants outside of her home. Like, that is just so crazy. Can you imagine policing your kid and being like, nope, you can't eat the chicken that your friend's family cooked for you because I said no? Like, it's just ridiculous. Now, I could get like limiting things that are detrimental to that kid's health. Like if the family's like, yeah, I'm feeding your kid like 2 pounds of Twizzlers every time she comes over, like that's different, because that's actually something that would be dangerous to that kid's health and well-being. What they're doing is quite the opposite. They may literally be saving this child from malnourishment, from potential health complications, and from potential nutrient deficiencies. But hey, we're gonna read a couple of the comments, but I care more what you guys think, so make sure you leave your comments on this video. This comment honestly had my blood boiling. You're the asshole. I think Emma's a bit malnourished is where I deemed you the asshole. Why? Because she made an observation, and a good one? You are absolutely judging her family and her family's diet, and you are doing this out of some misguided form of activism. No, they're not. You're actually writing this comment most likely out of some misguided form of activism. You think you're the hero here, saving her from some injustice. It'd be one thing if you were maybe just trying to make the kid happy one time and keeping a little secret, but you're doing this to make a statement. You're actively and defiantly disrespecting her parents. What? This is like one of the craziest reaches I've ever seen in my life. I did not see any of what this person said happening at all. It seemed like they were just cooking food. The kid was like, oh, this food looks good, I want to eat it too. And they're like, okay, no problem, you can eat the food. This person that cooks the food here clearly believes that that kid should have a choice in what they eat. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's backwards when people think that parents should be able to just completely dictate every aspect of their child's life and give them no sense of free will whatsoever until they're a full adult. That's crazy work. There's no statement being made. There's no judgment of their diet. It's somebody looking out for someone who they see as malnourished and possibly even underdeveloped, and there's nothing wrong with that, because the truth is what they're saying that they're seeing is probably what's actually happening. I know people want to act like there's no such thing as a malnourished kid on a vegan diet when it's extremely more common and widespread than you'd ever believe. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if you did enjoy, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time.